The first role of the federal government is to keep the American people safe. That's its most basic function. And as Commander-in-Chief, that is something that I have worked on and thought about every single day that I've been in the Oval Office. But I also believe that government has the capacity, the federal government has the capacity, to help open up opportunity and create ladders of opportunity and to create frameworks where the American people can succeed.
Well, you got him down, man. Let him breathe, at least, man. I can't breathe. I've been trying to help out. So you can breathe a little bit more. Neck, man. One of my homies died. He ran with the back phone. He called.
I'm about to die, just say.
Relax.
Man, I can't breathe my face. Just get up.
What do you want?
I can't breathe. Please, the knee in my neck. I can't breathe shit.
The injustices that are going on in this country are now just being blatantly put in front of us. Like, America's become so bold that you saw the way that man's knee was on his neck and the way his hands was in his pocket. He was way too calm. The look on his way too solid. He was looking at us like, this is America. We are allowed to kill Black people. This is what we do. This is what we've done. This is what we will continue to do. So what I'm thinking is that the entire world has seen the blatant disrespect against not just a Black man, but a human being.
The scope and the depth of the suffering that went on between 1789 and 1865. So you had this Constitution that was a pro-slavery document in practice, no matter what the words said, you see. All of that suffering, and we don't calculate because, you know, we're not engaging in just a calculation. So that I do support the democratic experiment called the USA. I just recognize it was also an adventure in empire. And I also recognize it was a night side that we continue to have to deal with all the way up to Baltimore.
Just one of those things to where I feel like we have seen this time and time again. I can't help but feel still on the fence as to whether justice is actually going to be served. It's one of those things to where the proof is going to be in the pudding.
Are you racist?
I am the least racist person that you have ever met. I am the least racist person.
Are you bigoted in any way?
I don't think so. No, I don't think so.
Islamophobic?
I'm a person, no, not at all. I'm a person who happens to be very smart, and I happen to have a certain street sense, and I know where things are going.
It's really sad that an adult, somebody who is supposed to be a role model, is thinking and acting that way. If he actually, and this applies to all of us, if he actually thinks first before doing anything, and he thinks again before doing anything, and he puts himself in that position, or puts his youngest child into that position.
Listen carefully to the man in the blue t-shirt.
White power!
White power, a rallying cry for white nationalists, shouted by an apparent supporter of Donald Trump in an angry back and forth with those who oppose the president. But it was Trump himself who today took it to another level, retweeting that video, thanking his supporters in it, until when criticized, the tweet was deleted.
How anybody would be okay with white supremacists endorsing them. And it's, for me, it's not enough to disavow. You have to be against. So you can't just disavow it. I need to understand why there isn't clear, precise, unmuddled communication when it comes to no, I am 100% against it. I don't support racists or racism. I against those things and people who would enact those types of laws or display those types of behaviors. I would ask, why hasn't that exited the mouth in 4 years?
As long as we live, we have to keep pushing. As long as there's life on earth, racism will exist. Why? It's a choice.
Racism is a choice.
There's no way racism will stop. As long as life exists on earth, racism will be here. Why? Because we make racism to become a part of us. If you hate me because I'm black, it's your problem. It's your burden to carry. I'll actually feel sorry for you because something is not right with you. What makes you feel better than I am because of the color of my skin?
Because a lot of people don't realize that, like Eric Garner, they say, oh, we're going to pass these laws about chokeholds. But a lot of people don't even realize that it was against NYPD policy to do chokeholds when Eric Garner was killed. It was already on the books. It wasn't like, oh, they're saying, oh, let's do away with chokeholds. That stuff is already illegal in a lot of cities and a lot of states that you're not supposed to be doing chokeholds. So it's not the policy that people need to be worried about. It's the people that's carrying out the policies that's doing it and getting away with it.
Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd! Say his name! George Floyd!
As African Americans, I feel like we've sort of hit the ceiling. We have protested, we have paid the ultimate price and have lost our loved ones, given blood to be treated as human beings, and it's now time for people for white folks, for Asians, for everybody that stands for equality to get involved.
For so long, Black people have come out for everybody else's party. We have been in solidarity for human rights, every other human rights, in whatever divisive culture that they've thrown out there. We've supported every single one. But when it's been something that's happened to the Black community, we didn't have that kind of support, which is where the tiredness came from. And now it's like, I finally got somebody that I can lean on. I think that's the great thing about seeing the protest and seeing the people come together through social media, and then just also in person, despite COVID and all of those misguided.
I thank God that I made another 24 hours in the most vicious, nasty, hateful, insane nation that's ever existed, with my wits, without hating, without being bitter, without being mean. And I thank God that I survived 24 hours in that type of atmosphere.
First and foremost, you got to define the issue. You got to be very clear on what is your agenda. Because in the narrative that's taking place today, there's a couple of different themes that are taking place, and they're all valid, whether it's police brutality, whether it's income inequality, whether it's racial equality. So those are 3 different types of things, some of which can be intertwined. However, in order for you to win a campaign, you gotta be very clear. You gotta be very laser focused on a specific issue so that you can make sure that you can articulate that issue, so you can get buy-in by as many people as possible.
We're here and we ain't gonna shut up. Black lives matter. Black men matter. We're here for you and we're not gonna shut up.
It's the time we need to mobilize and do it right. We can't miss this opportunity and just go out there and march. No agenda, with no plan. That's wasted. And my frustration with that is that then if results don't occur, all this energy and all these kids are going to get discouraged. They're like, oh, that doesn't work.
What Black people need to do, I mean, just blatant and blunt, is to do for self. That will solve 99% of our problems. We wouldn't have to go to City Hall. We would go to City Hall we would go to these local officials, but you will only go to them to tell them what exactly you want. You don't go to politicians and ask them anything. Politicians are not sent for you to go and ask them. And a lot of people have got that backwards. But Black people really need to do for self.
You got to be able to consolidate it to a specific agenda, because otherwise you're going to have folks just going in different directions. And that's not going to be a focused campaign. And that's not going to be very effective to actually impacting legislation.
That I do think is different this time compared to all the other times is the solidarity of all the other races. Because I definitely feel like at this point, Black people are just so tired of telling the same stories, of what's now signaled and discussed as trauma porn, that, oh, you had to see a video to believe that these things were actually happening in our community. That's what it took for you to come out. Great, so now you tell the story. Because I've been saying it, I'm tired of saying it, and I'm so glad that you're ready to finally speak. But you better make sure you get the message right.
And you have to be willing to listen on all sides, active listening. You don't have to understand everything. You just need to have an ear and incline and recognize that we have had issues in our past with law enforcement, with white people who don't like us for the color of our skin, no other reason. And so my heart desire is unity. My heart desire is restoration. My heart desire is justice for all. My heart's desire is equality.
H&H Jewelry Design, your diamond store. You know, diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Stop by H&H Jewelry Design. Your lady will love that you did.